What's up everyone? Tonight we are taking a first look at this device right here. It is an ultra budget-friendly device from Umidigi. This is the A1 Pro. It's available right now at gearbest.com for around $100 to $140. So check out the links below for the best price, and if there's any coupons available, I will also link those down below as well. So tonight we're going to take a first look and just kind of some initial impressions. Stay tuned for our full review in the near future. Alright, so here is the box that the Umidigi A1 Pro comes in, and we're going to go ahead and slide that little sleeve off, and on the back of the box we will see Umidigi A1 Pro, and right down here we have a bunch of specs, so I'll go ahead and let you pause it there if you want to check those out. But a couple of things I want to highlight. Number one is the CPU. So it has a MediaTek 6739 processor. That is a quad-core processor clocked at 1.5 gigahertz, brand new processor from MediaTek, so we'll go ahead and test out how that's performing so far. We have Android 8.1 with 3 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of onboard storage. We have a 5.5-inch HD Plus display that is basically a stretched out 720p display. And another thing worth mentioning here is the LTE band. So notice, and it's kind of small there, but you can see we have 4, 5, we even have 12 and 17. So pretty much it'll work with any GSM network in the US with some pretty darn good signals. So let's go ahead and unbox it. So go ahead and slide this box off, and there is the phone itself. So go ahead and slide that off, and it looks like it comes with a plastic case as well as a screen protector. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this screen protector, and there is an actual screen protector on the screen there now. And then we do have a case, so it's really nice that it comes with both of those, especially since you're probably not going to be able to find any kind of actual accessories for this, especially in the US. So we'll go ahead and take this piece off now as well. And we have a really nice looking phone. So this is a very budget-friendly phone, and looks very nice. So Type-C down here at the bottom. We also have our headphone jack as well as a speaker along the bottom. We do have, it feels like, a metal frame here, kind of hard to tell for sure, but you can see it has a nice shine to it. Now the back, I'm gonna say, is just a shiny plastic. It doesn't, it's hard to tell. Can't tell if it's, so we'll have to check that out before we do the final review. But yeah, it definitely looks like glass, but it kind of sounds plastic, so I'm not really sure there. But I'm going to go ahead and guess plastic since this is a pretty budget-friendly device. So go ahead and set that off to the side, and then we have our little packet here. Guess we have, okay, so SIM removal tool and some instructions here, and looks like they're all in English, so that's cool. Great, yep, everything looks to be in English there, so go ahead and slide that off to the side. Now we do also have fast charging, so this comes with an EU brick, it looks like. So it's a 2 amp fast charging, so you can either use an adapter or you can use one of your own fast chargers, hopefully that you have at home. And down here we have our Type-C cable. So that's a big thumbs up for a budget-friendly device. I love that it has Type-C. So now let's go ahead and power it on and check out the software on the device. Alright, so we got the phone all set up. I've downloaded a couple of apps that we're going to test out in just a little bit. But a couple of things I want to point out. First of all, this is our 5.5-inch 720p display. It does have some pretty good viewing angles so far. I like it. We'll have to test it outside once we have a nice bright sunny day to see if it is viewable in those bright lights. But I do want to mention here that we do have 4G LTE with voice over LTE for T-Mobile. Again, it supports bands 2, 4, 5, 12, 17, so all the major bands that you're going to need to use it on AT&T or T-Mobile within the US. So as we go through these various apps, one thing I want to mention is that basically it comes with absolutely no bloatware. It's basically running just stock Android 8.1. So if we go in here, we will see system up to date, and it's running Android 8.1, and it is on the April security patch. Now, a couple of things that they have that are slightly different from stock Android. So we do have face unlock, so we'll go ahead and test that out real quick. So I am looking at it right now. There it goes. All right, so it did that all by itself. I did not touch it. And then we're going to go ahead and test out that fingerprint sensor and see how fast that is. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's not working. There it goes. Okay, so the second try. So it hasn't been, I will say that so far it's been about 8 out of 10 times that it's working. And when it does work, it does decent, but it's not a great fingerprint sensor. It's certainly not very fast. So 1, 2, let's go ahead and touch it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's definitely a delay there, and you really kind of have to have it in the right spot, or else it will just not work. But overall, software-wise, running definitely stock Android, and that's a huge thumbs up for me. Now, as far as battery life goes, we have a 3150 milliamp hour battery in here. Obviously, with this being just day one, I can't tell you the battery life, so definitely stay tuned for the full review when we check out the battery. And also, as far as cameras go, we have a 13 and 5 megapixel camera here on the back, and a 5 megapixel camera up front. Now, I will mention that in some Umidigi phones that I've tested in the past, one of the cameras really didn't seem to do much of anything, and I'm kind of guessing that's probably the case here as well, but we'll have to test that out. But I have done just a couple of quick camera shots here. So a couple things worth mentioning. Number one is there is electronic image stabilization. I haven't had a chance to test that out quite yet. We will do that definitely in the full review, but it will shoot in up to 1080p when it comes to the video, and again, it does have electronic image stabilization. And then when we go into our different options here, we can slide over. So we have panorama, we have video, we have photo. So photos, again, up to 13 megapixels, and then we have beauty mode, and then we have a bokeh effect. So I did test out a couple of bokeh effects. Now, one thing I want to mention right away is that when you go into the bokeh, it will lag the camera shutter quite a bit, so it takes quite a long time. So you see how long that took from when I touched it to when it actually shows up down here, versus if I just do a regular photo. All right, so we're in the regular photo now, so 1, 2, 3, and that one's almost instant. So you can see there's kind of a delay though from being able to take the next picture. So that is probably because of only having a 1.5 gigahertz processor in here. One thing I also want to mention here is with bokeh, it basically is not really going to be a true like portrait mode. It basically just blurs, it takes whatever's in the center in focus, and then it kind of just blurs out everything around it. So it's not really a true bokeh effect as you'd get on a more expensive device. Alright, so as far as that MediaTek 6739 processor is concerned, you can see our multi-core score and single-core score on Geekbench 4. So about what you would expect from a phone at this price point running a 1.5 gigahertz processor. So that 1629 score, multi-core score there, probably what that means in real world usage is you will experience some lag from time to time, especially if you're doing some heavy duty things. So that Duraspeed is probably going to come in helpful if you're doing some gaming. But I went ahead and checked out CPU-Z. So a couple things I want to mention here is that there is a gyroscope. So if I move this around, you can see that the gyroscope is adjusting here. We do also have an accelerometer, proximity sensor, and things like that. So the only thing that we don't have here is pressure, apparently, in terms of sensors. Alright, so if you're interested in finding out more about the Umidigi A1 Pro, check out the links below. Also, please subscribe to the channel because we will be doing a full review of this device. We're going to do more in depth with the battery, checking out that processor, also checking out the camera. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.